You know that feeling, right? That pressure building up, the thoughts racing, that tension in your shoulders? Stress. It's just part of being human. But what if I told you there's a simple, incredibly powerful tool you can use anytime, anywhere to find a sense of calm? Well, there is, and it's as close as your very next breath. Does this feel familiar? You're trying to juggle work, family, that to-do list that never seems to end, and it feels like your body is just stuck in overdrive. Like you're constantly braced for whatever's coming next, and it just leaves you feeling drained and totally on edge. And look, if you feel this way, you are so far from alone. Since the pandemic, there's been this massive global spike in anxiety disorders. We're talking an estimated 25.6% increase. This isn't just a you problem, it's a huge public health issue that's affecting millions and millions of people. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to look at why we're all so stressed out, then dive into an ancient, simple solution. I'll walk you through 2 techniques you can try today. We'll cover the science behind why they work, and then wrap it all up with some clear takeaways. So what is actually happening in our bodies? Well, modern life, with all its notifications and deadlines, is constantly triggering our ancient fight or flight response. The thing is, our bodies are reacting like we're running from a lion, when really we're just dealing with a stressful email. And that constant activation, it really takes a toll. And check this out, this is so important. When you get anxious, you start breathing faster, right? But that's not just a side effect. It actually causes physical symptoms. You end up breathing out too much carbon dioxide, which messes with your body's chemistry and leads to that dizzy, lightheaded, tingly feeling that so many of us know all too well. But here's the really cool part. Just as our breathing gets thrown off by stress, we can flip the script and intentionally use our breath to calm our nervous system right back down. And this isn't some new age fad. It's a powerful solution with incredibly deep roots. I mean, people have known about this for centuries. From ancient practices in Hinduism, Buddhism, and Taoism, to the ancient Greeks who saw breath as the literal life force. Cultures all over the world got it. It really wasn't until the 1970s that Western science started to catch up and actually study its amazing psychological benefits. And at the very heart of all these ancient traditions is this one key concept, pranayama. It's a Sanskrit term, and it literally means control of breath. This single idea is the foundation for pretty much every modern breathing technique we use today. It's all about that connection between our breath, our body, and our mind. Okay, theory is great, but let's get practical. Now that we get the why, let's jump into the how. I'm going to walk you through 2 super simple but really effective techniques you can put in your toolkit for managing stress. First up is something called box breathing. This one is incredibly powerful, and it's used by people in some of the most high-stress jobs you can imagine. Think Navy SEALs, police officers, to get centered and focused when their body is screaming fight or flight. And you can see exactly why they call it 4-square breathing. It's got 4 equal sides, just like a box. The whole goal is just to hit the reset button on your breathing and bring it back to a nice, calm, steady rhythm. Let's just walk through it real quick. Find a comfortable spot. First, you're going to inhale through your nose for a slow count of 4. Then, you gently hold that breath for a count of 4. Next, you slowly exhale it all out through your mouth for 4. And finally, you just pause, holding with empty lungs for a final count of 4. That's it. That's one cycle. All right, on to our second technique. This one is designed for something a little different. It's called the 4-7-8 breath, and its main goal is to bring on deep relaxation. I just love this quote about it. A natural tranquilizer for the nervous system. How great is that? And unlike some other things, the more you practice this one, the more powerful it actually becomes. So here's the drill for this one. You start by exhaling everything out with a little whoosh sound. Then close your mouth, inhale quietly through your nose for a count of 4. Now hold your breath for a count of 7. And finally, exhale it all out through your mouth, making that whoosh sound again for a long, slow count of 8. That 4-7-8 ratio is the magic key. So how do you know which one to use? Well, think of it this way. Box breathing, with its even 4-4-4-4 count, is your go-to for hitting reset and finding focus in the middle of a crazy day. The 4-7-8 breath with that really long exhale is what you use for deep relaxation. It's perfect for winding down at night or whenever you need to release a lot of tension. Okay, so we have the techniques, but how do we get the most out of them? Let's turn to the science. We're going to look at what the evidence says makes these practices actually work, moving from the how-to the why it works. And the evidence we're looking at is the real deal. It comes from something called a systematic review. That just means scientists didn't look at one study. They gathered a whole bunch of them and analyzed them all together to find the common threads. It's basically one of the most reliable ways to get a scientific answer. And in this case, they looked at 58 different clinical studies with over 5,000 people. I mean, that's a ton of data. And what they found was that a huge majority of these breathing exercises significantly reduced stress. So they compared the ones that worked to the ones that didn't and figured out the recipe for success. And this is what they found. This is the evidence-based checklist. Number 1, stick to slow, regulated paces. Forget the fast stuff for now. 2, aim for at least 5 minutes per session. That seems to be the sweet spot. 3, if you can, follow a guide for your first few times. 4, practice more than once to get the hang of it. And finally, for the real benefits, make it a long-term habit. The research also told us what to avoid. Things that can make these exercises less effective, like trying to do them while standing for a long time or being in a place where you'll get interrupted a bunch. And this is a big one. Make sure you're in a position where your belly can move freely. And definitely don't jump into super advanced techniques without some training first. Okay, let's bring this all home. We've talked about the problem, the ancient solution, the specific techniques, and the science behind it all. Now, let's boil it all down into a simple guide you can start using right away. And here it is, your cheat sheet. It's pretty simple, right? On the left, what to do, go slow, practice for at least 5 minutes, get a little guidance when you start, and try to be consistent. And on the right, what to avoid, just fast breathing, super short sessions, distracting spots, and jumping into the deep end before you're ready. So the next time you feel that wave of stress starting to build, just remember this. You have this ancient, science-backed, and profoundly simple tool ready to go at all times. Your calmest, most focused self is literally just one breath away. So the only question left is, are you ready to begin?